Incoming rookie coach Jason Ryles has broken his silence on his plans for the Parramatta rebuild in a lengthy interview with the club. Here's the best bits.
It feels a lot longer than that, but obviously we've changed the staff over in regards to coaching. That was nothing personal. It was just I think it's important that we all align, and I make sure that I get coaches that I'm comfortable with. I've been very impressed so far. With the setup of the club. Everyone seems to be aligned from the board down to the GM and the footy manager and the list manager.
Mitchell Moses, obviously a very important part of the team.
I was really pleased for Mitchell watching that Origin. He dominated those two games. Very exciting as his future coach. So it's an exciting opportunity to work with him.
One question you might cop is about Regan Campbell-Gillard not being here. Can you shed any light on that?
No, I think that was just an opportunity for both parties. He had an opportunity to obviously extend his career right now. So I thought, I didn't want to stand in his way to do that. Nothing personal. It's just, I thought I'd want to do what was best for him.
Is Clint Gutherson still a big part of your plans at Parramatta?
Yeah, immediately he's, a big part of the plans. Obviously he's, one of the biggest effort players in the whole competition. I've been a bit of an admirer of his for a long time now.
So Jason, what are your key priorities for the football program going forward?
Our pathways are super important for us. I think we had 4 debutants this year. The obvious one with Blaze, that's disappointing, but Penrith are sort of cherry picking out of our backyard.
What's your take on club legends and any sort of involvement they might have in the club?
Absolutely love it. The more they can be involved, the better. I think they do a pretty good job of it so far, but I want them to feel like they can just walk in off the street and just come and be a part of what we're doing, as long as they don't get in the way in the drills. But they can do anything they want, come and have eat with us, eat a meal with us, but that type of thing. But anything we can do to connect with them, I think that's really important for our footy club and our culture.
Yeah, it's the first time we've heard from new head coach of the Parramatta Eels, Jason Ryles, a 25-minute interview there with Adam Hawes. What do we make of it?
He looked very relaxed. They should take a video of that right now and show it to him in 3 months or 6 months into next season. Look, the assistant coach is always loved. Never has to make the tough calls, never makes the tough conversations. It's a big move for a 45-year-old Jason Ryles. I think he's ready, but it's going to be a massive, suffocating pressure on him next year.
He spoke about a couple of interesting things there. I thought the talk about bringing the legends in and making them welcome, we all know that's been an issue at Parramatta for a long time. The other thing that he touched on was from the chairman down to the football staff, they're united, but we know that this year there was a division because Mitchell Moses had a blow-up about the division between the players and the staff and the board. And this is a first-time coach that has to come in and try and pull this all together. And there's a lot of fractures at that club, even amongst the playing staff at the moment. The uncertainty this year in the wake of Brett Arthur leaving, I think it's a huge job. Good luck to the guy because he's coming in for his first shot at it. But yeah, you can't underestimate the job ahead of him.
I thought he spoke well. I mean, he talks about breaking the drought, and he dreams of breaking that drought, and he talks about values and what he wants to instill in his players and in his club. He talks about working with Trent Robinson and taking bits of him and Craig Bellamy, but making it his own. Essentially, he wants Parramatta to play like Parramatta. He doesn't want them to play like the Roosters or Melbourne. He's a very smart coach, Ryles. He's done it for a long time now, Gordy, and I think he's going to do a great job.
Super impressive for his first interview. I played with him in the early 2000s. I think it was he and Shane Webke in the front row. I never ever thought that I'd play with Jason Ryles and to become a coach, but that was super impressive. He's done an amazing apprenticeship, and good luck to him. It's a very proud club, and hopefully Parramatta can get back in the winning.
Brett Reid did an article and interviewed him today, Jason Ryles. There are a few things to take out of that, and one of them was Clint Gutherson. Ryles, he did say that he'd spoken to Gutho and his management, and there was never a conversation. There hasn't been one of him moving on. But he did say that he could play 13 or 9. Thoughts on that?
Well, he also said in that article that Gutho was receptive of the idea. Anything I can do for the team. I think that we now wait and see if it will be anything I can do for the team, because Gutho's reached a point in his career, like it or lump it, where his legs look to be getting weary. He hasn't got the pace that he once had. Ryles has basically said Isaiah Iongi has come from Penrith and he will take over as the fullback, and to move Gutho into the middle, and they've already got Jermaine Hopgood that plays that role. He's talking about like a Wishart, Dylan Walker sort of role. Will he be happy with that? I don't know.
He's got to be. I think fullback's a young man's position. I watched him this year, and you know, it's no disrespect, but you know, Father Time catches up. It looks like that he's lost a yard of speed. A couple of times, you know, they went around him with ease. I think he's still got a role to play, but it might be like a Salmon. You know, otherwise Salmon or Mann plays at the Canterbury Bulldogs.
He's fiercely protective of his role at fullback. Oh, I'd be stunned if he's going to accept it happily. Jason Ryles said, Clint Gutherson said, yes, I'm sweet, I will do what the best thing is for the team. I am happy to help in any way that I can. I'm not suggesting anyone's telling fibs, but I don't think if you move Gutho, he's going to take it happily.
Well, I just don't see it. I don't see Gutho as a 9.
Well, does he benefit the team any more in that new role?
What about the centres, or just a roving 13?
A roving 13, yeah, possibly, possibly. I still find it hard to visualise seeing him in playing lock. You know, he's got footwork and he does have a pass. He'd be tested defensively going from fullback into lock. Lock these days is in the middle. You make a lot of tackles, right? You've got Hopgood there as well. 9 as well. I mean, 9, you're making a lot of tackles. You've got to have good vision out of 9, which he does have, but it's very different 9 to fullback. I don't know if it'll work. If I'm being brutally honest, I don't think the experiment would last long.
The only thing I would say, though, too, is that Parramatta have been very good to Clint Gutherson. Like, Gutherson's been good for them, but he came there as basically a rookie, a few games at Manly. Brad Arthur gave him that opportunity. He's been there since 2016, I think, and he's earned good money. He's had an outstanding career, but there comes a time where sometimes you have to give back to the club, and if the club truly want to keep him and he wants to take on that role, well,
where's his best position, Crawls?
Well, it was fullback.
You're saying was as in past
I don't know. I don't know, Doggy. Like Gordon said,
his best position is fullback.
He came back from a knee injury this year.
Why? Because they keep on losing young kids that want to play in that role. And there comes a time when if you want someone and...
He's the heart and soul of that club, though.
I get it.
If you move him and he's not happy, that is going to ricochet down the playing group.
I don't think
they
so.
come 15th this year.
I don't think so.
Or 16th.
Yeah,
they can't get any further down.
They've got a new coach. It's a new beginning. You can't look back. You've got to move forward.
You name a club that'll sign him as number 1 on the money that he's on now.
Oh, I couldn't tell if at the top of my head, Gordy. There'd be probably 2 or 3 that would sign him up.
As a fullback?
Oh, as a fullback.
So
he's an elite fullback. I mean, you guys are talking about him like he's past it. I don't think Gutho's past it.
We're not saying he's past it, but at that position. I'm not saying he's past the NRL. I never said that, but I think number 1 is a young man's position.
I think it's not past it. I think Gutho will do a good job at fullback for Parramatta. He puts his heart and soul into the club and in his performance every week. Can they win a competition with him at fullback? That's essentially like every club. That's what you look at. Who's going to be our best fullback? Who's going to be our most dynamic? Who's going to create the most opportunities? You know, and the young kid from Penrith, Iongi, is it? Yeah. He's big raps on him. He's fast. He's electric. He's part of that modern brigade that are coming through of, you know, fullbacks that are, you know, the next biggest thing. He's one of them.
Well, Parramatta also have to face the reality too that, Doggy, they've gone from being in a grand final and then having that grand final window shut. They've got to start rebuilding. They've got to look to the future. I don't think you can stay living in the past and expect Parramatta to climb way back up to the top of the table.
If you move him, does he remain your captain?
It would be a hard one because it depends if he's.
So you're going to move him as captain and move him positionally.
Yes.
Well, that's a slap in the face for Gutho.
What have they come this year, Bulldog? What do you want to do? He's a great guy.
He's a great captain.
Well, the Cowboys did it this year, moving along Townsend and Jason Taumalolo, and they brought in Tom Dearden and Reuben Cotter, and they've been absolutely...
The Bulldogs did it with Stephen Crichton. They moved Reid Marnie, you know, and Reid was okay with it because at the end of the day...
Do we tell you what the captains do? Tails.
Yeah, but you know he's a bit more than that out there. He's a leader at that club.
But he can do it without the C. You don't need to see the leaders of your club are the leaders of your club. They don't need to see beside their name to do that.
You strip him of the captaincy, I reckon you're going to get a very disgruntled player.
That shows where he is.
Well, you can't have that though, Dog, because for Parramatta to rebuild and for Jason Ryles to do his job, he's got to be tough. He's got to make big decisions, tough decisions, and the players have got to buy in or they've got to go.
This may sound bad, but maybe Parramatta and Ryles, if Clint isn't happy with it and he wants to go, maybe they won't stop him. That's just an observation I'm making from the outside looking in.
And he said he's happy. So I guess
exactly.
Yeah, time will
What
tell.
about this premiership drought? Now, Jason Ryles did say in the interview that he dreams to break it. There's a lot of pressure. What are you laughing, Claus?
A lot of Parramatta coaches have come in dreaming to break the premiership. It goes back to 1986. You know, they've all had a go, and
They've been close a few times.
they have been close. Brad Arthur got them to a grand final. You know, Daniel Anderson got them to a grand final. Brian Smith got them to a grand final. They've been close, but that does hang like an albatross around that club until.
But you've got to dare to dream. That's the whole point.
You do, and I think Ryles came out with a quote in a story today saying that how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You've got to take steps to take the club back to where it has to be. You keep that in the book.
I probably ate one over the last 20 years.
Day, mate.
That could take a while, though.
You got to eat the ears too.
Do we think the Parramatta roster is on the rise or on the decrease?
They got to turn it around.
Because if it's
they actually have to turn
on
it.
the
I think it's
slide
age.
and
it is
through
on the slide.
age, then Jason Ryles' job.
You should host this show. You're asking some good questions.
Well, I'm just saying.
They need speed, Dog.
That's what I'm saying.
They need speed, and he
Jason
conceded that in
Ryles-
his interview today. They need speed. That's when you talk about Gutho. They've got some outside backs. They need that blistering pace. He's looked at systems like the Roosters and Melbourne, and that's where he comes from. No, Parramatta have got some big decisions to make, and he's the man that has to make them.
Should we get to the ins and outs for this weekend, Bulldog?
When I'm ready, bro.
All right, let's take